Excuse the husky dog ears. I've been on the old Norfolk Hillbilly bargain hunt. We have a festival, Summer Glory, a Razorback IPA, a Czech Pilsner, some yeasts and a bag of sugar, all off the local giveaway free cycle site. Well, as you can see, a new brew dog has joined us. Unfortunately, my little Jack Russell Badger died November, and it's now, well, January now, isn't it? So we're filming, and you'll see my famous row of sheds is no more. I did move one, pending my son taking it away, but this area is planned for, well, you guessed it, another shed. Only this one's going to have a concrete base, timber frame on a brickwork, metal cladding on the outside, so no maintenance, insulated, and no windows, just one door. It's going to have my model railway layout in it, which means I can get rid of this. And yes, I did acquire a few beer kits off a free cycle, but with this coming out, I should be able to have some limited time back on the brewing side of things, and we bought a few more bits there, which you'll see in the upcoming takes, which were filmed about February in 2024, and I've only just now got down to doing a dedicated video. Parts of this may be split in because I do have another YouTube channel now for the model railway, which is why I've been less active on this side of things. Obviously I don't work at a beer shop anymore, so the beer tasting days are gone, and the brewing has took a back seat to model railways, and we now have issues with vehicles that I've got to sort out in the summer. Got to find a vehicle now, so just an update really. Where have we been, what we've been doing. Well, my other YouTube channel sort of took up me active online time, as it were, and this basically hasn't changed since whenever the last update was. The newest acquisitions are down in that box, which you'll see on the next section. Well, what have we here? Another long break between videos, but we have been on the stainless steel hunt again. A bit different this time. It's not for the main brewing rig. Well, some of it might be, but it wasn't my intended purchase. I picked up the Brewzilla steam condenser, which obviously will work in any other format that's big enough for it. It's rather expensive considering what we know they are, but I got this lot for 106 quid. I think they charge considerably more than that just for this piece, but it is just an offset T, same as the other one, very similar to the one I've made. So we should have everything in here, and we've also got the heavy duty Brewzilla lid with the optical sight glass in it. So I don't own a Brewzilla, but I do own a Turbo Still, which is basically the original prototype Grainfather, and that lid happens to fit it. So it's a bit stronger than the factory version when you put a still column on top of the already distillation column. So this little piece of shininess, not that bit, is all together. It's bigger than my one I made. Don't know whether it will perform any better. I don't know, because I can't clamp the lid on my brew pot yet. I am looking at various options, whether I can do something, or maybe that lid will fit on the keg. But this was, it came as a matter of the course of the auction. I was actually after the lid. If I wanted the lid only at the minute, I could have bought the lid cheaper than I paid for everything. But I thought, well, if it's not going to go too mad, I'll punt for the lot, because this was on an eBay auction. So I think the lid's £69, call it £70 with the postage, and this cost me £30 extra for this bit, basically, which I think on its own is £125 plus the shipping. So it's a win-win, and I think if everything I've got here is included, it's £195 plus the shipping, so in excess of £200. So basically I've got the whole thing for half price. So the lid, that's the clamp and O-ring for the condenser to go on top, or in my case it will be the distillation column. So that's plastic. I was expecting that to be glass, to be honest with you, but I didn't guess it makes it's not under pressure, is it? So yeah, don't know whether you could change that to like the Brew Tools type flashy thing where you can put your ops and stuff in there. It's really, these aren't really that big to be doing that, but obviously if you had the fermenter with this lid fitted on, it does open up a various range of options should you buy the solid stainless steel with the various fittings on it for pressure release valves and dump valves and all that shiny goodness that costs even more money. So at the minute I would try that on my 30-litre fermenter. I wonder, can't get to it at the minute because the railway board's down in the shed, and it's just above freezing at the minute, and my diesel heater needs one of these temperature sender units, because I came in the other day and the fan was running away to itself thinking it was in cooling down mode. God knows how long it's been, because I have not been in the shed since Christmas, and it's now sort of like 2 weeks after Christmas, so God knows how long it's been running for. But hopefully it ain't done any more damage to the bloody thing. So we will cut back for you in a few seconds. For me, could be days, weeks, months, who knows. Well, if you can see that wobbling light, it says 0.4 degrees. The 1 degree below it is the actual set temperature for those temperature controllers to come on. If it so they should be heating at the minute, I think. Although there is a ½ degree, 1 degree variance. I can't remember what I set them up at now. Can't even get it in shot. Anyway, you get the idea. If it's ½ degree above freezing, it's bloody cold. I've just brought this one in from the house, so obviously it's still reading a bit high. The door is open, so the temperature may even go up, because I think it's warmer outside than it is inside. So we're going to switch on the Chinese diesel heater and see how long it takes to raise the temperature while I sort this room out, in between the dogs coming in and making me open the door and lose some of the heat, doubtless. They've cleared off, and as you can see, the garden looks like a bomb site, even more before than it did look a bomb site, because of what I've already stated, that, you know, we've been doing lots of clearance. I also had to dig all of that garden section up and lay a new sewer pipe, because the old one was clay and cracked, and obviously building a shed on it, you want any issues underneath to be limited to 0, so hopefully that won't be a problem in the future. So let's get the heater on. We'll be back for an update shortly. So we're just under 10 minutes by the time I've had the door shut and the heater's on its full cycle. It is on full whack at the minute, and we are now 2.7 degrees, so it has risen reasonable in the period of time. So I want this board out of the way so that I can get to survey any potential damage down there from either frost or four-legged varianted rodents, which did cause a problem before. I had a mystery leak up there. Turned out to be mice were using that as their latrine, and the water that was dripping down everywhere wasn't water. So after a thorough deep clean and removal of the occupiers, I foam filled all of that section and all the way along here, because I think they were getting in the duct area where the pipework goes behind the MDF there. So I put all that in, drilled holes in strategic places and filled it with expanding foam. So if they are about there, well, I know they're in the other side of the shed, because I did find a camping mat that had started to been chewed. So I don't like using the poison, but it's a case of it's all I've got to use. Now I've lost number one rat dog, and the huskies can find them, but then they just want to make friends with them. Anything other, they don't tend to be too keen, unlike the Jack Russells. So I want to get to the pipe work there, because I normally put a heater at the back. Well, it's still been there from last year, just to protect that pipe and valve and the electronics and the water monitoring thing down there. So we'll get the get this out of the way and see what's going to be revealed. Doing too bad. One temperature probe's down in the sink where that'll be nice and cold on the steel. That's not plugged into anything, and obviously 4 degrees is now far too warm for a Siberian Husky, so she'd much rather be outside, doubtless planning her escape. So yeah, whoops, that one wasn't plugged in. I think I did drain this down though. Fortunately, that bucket of RO water that's probably highly toxic now, because there's been nothing in it. Everything's collapsing on me. Nothing's frozen in here, so obviously the little heater has done at least something. Hasn't caused me an extreme amount of financial pain here. That's a-okay, apart from being covered in cobwebs. And we get all the crap here that blows in through the joint in the door, even though I have put damp-proof, of course, strips on the outside of that doorway, and we do get a little bit of rain blowing, not too much, but yeah, looks okay. There's a few bits could do with the liquor paint really, just to bring it back up, but I'm not too worried this time of year to be buggering about. My main worry was obviously the RO system and the water pump. The water heater, which doesn't look too bad. That pipe work needs supporting, but well, I did last year, as it is now, seems strange calling it last year, dig a trench between my garage and this shed to permanently install a higher rated armoured cable than the one I've temporarily had in here since I put the electric in here when I done the brewery shed 2.0. How many years ago it was? 4 years, 5 years ago, when I was off work. So at that same time, because I've had a new kitchen fitted, reused some of the old units, gutted the garage basically, put a whole new roof on, which is a video on here. I took it off my other channel. So I took the opportunity to change the plumbing and put the blue water pipe in. It's yet to be done outside and fixed in underneath the floor here permanently, along with the cable. Again, it's a fair weather job, and all of the sheet cladding and building materials were part of the roofing and stuff is all stacked around the back in the way, pending the build of the railway layout building. So this is sort of been shoved to the back burner very much. I don't even know what we got. Obviously 2 of them haven't got the temperature probes connected. Yeah, it all fires up. Be nice if that backlight stayed on, but fingers crossed. So far so good. So yeah, brewing wise there's nothing really to report. It is still the same. I've sort of finalised all of the purchasing, I think, at the current time of the train of thought. My Achilles heel was this bit here. None of the manufactured bends and curves would fit the spacing between all of this gadumfkin and connecting to this, so everything is just screwed and clamped together to give me a visual idea of the spaghetti of stainless steel that is. To be honest with you, I'd have to go back and look at draw it all out and figure it all out again, and start again, pending obviously changing the pumps. Now, I did think the other day of a use for them, some on another thing, pending using the, I can't remember what they're called, Brew 2000 or whatever, what Keg Kingdom used to sell and everyone else started selling and marketing under their own name. You know the one. So yeah, that's about as far as it's got really. Better move that off that heater tube and get the plastic out of the way. But anyway, where are we? 5 degrees now, we're getting there. So yeah, loads to do. I've got a Burco boiler, kettle element there. I'll rig the bits up because I haven't put them together since the bit you've probably already seen in the video of the uprated lid and bits. So we're about to find out a year after I bought them whether they fit or not. So we've been running about half hour now. That's that one. 6.9 on those ones. So if you recall, a long while ago I was developing my own steam condenser to fit on the side of this, and obviously the flow of water would create a vacuum along with the pressure of the steam. It would have to go there. Whether that would be too small was yet to be debated and tested. It might need a larger fitting, and then I built my own little thing there. There is one of those that I have to sell, this bit anyway, not the extension tube, to use on that, or obviously convert this, but then you need to seal the brew pot lid, which currently isn't sealed. It's just got a couple of silicone trim pieces around it. Whether gravity and weight of the lid would be suffice, because obviously you'd have the weight of that on top. So the other alternative is, when we were building these, there was only the Brew Tools one, which, you know, is for BMW owners and accountants and IT people, i.e. those with a lot of cash, expendable income, which I've never had. But I did come across that, as you've seen in the video. So this is my T500, which is basically the granddaddy of the Grainfather. This is what the Grainfather was originally based on. So the Brewzilla lid is stronger than the T500 lid, especially when you modify it to extend the distilling column. So some people were buying these lids to take the stress of the increased weight, and some were using various contraptions off of your still. It was putting a lot of strain and weight on the original lids. So some people were buying these lids, and then obviously there was the upgrade with the optic through, like a real brewery, big kettle. You can take that off and tip your hops in and just hope you don't get a blowover. So this was the steam condenser that they made, which I think has 150, 160 pound. Then the lid I think is 80 quid. I can't remember, I probably already said in the other bit what this cost me, but it wasn't anywhere near that. So this is, if I want to do a quick and easy, not as elaborate or as confuddled as doing a 3-vessel brew, I could just do a small brew in this, simple, keep it simple, stupid. Steam condenser, can do it over the sink, or there might be enough room there, because I am looking at obviously installing one of these Brewzillas. I managed to pick up that one. I'll probably sell, because that one I'm keeping. The guy I bought that off of has got 2 of those welded inside a stainless steel tank that I bought off him as well. Don't know what I'll use that for. Probably, God knows, if anyone's interested in a large scale version of them to use in their brewery. He used it to try and heat water from his truck for his window cleaning business. So that's that bit. Then obviously I can convert it to still mode with the better lid. So that was that. They're about the only things that's really happened brewing wise, if you can call it that, in the last year, since the beginning of the video, or however I edit the bloody thing, to put it all together and see what happens. So that's it. Let me flip round and put this on a mount, and we'll have a little waffle outro. And just finally, and that's in still mode, which is at its optimum height of 40 inches for the column when you're working with this diameter. So it's about maximum it will achieve. I might have to modify the plates because they might be too small and cause flooding, but until I get around to doing it, obviously we're not going to be doing anything making any distilled water at the minute, because all the water's frozen. Even the distilled stuff is nearly frozen. It's very nice and cold. Well, obviously the battery's going because it didn't work from sitting here. Now I've got back at so, well that's it. Hang on. We're out of shot. Well, we are on the screen. So yeah, new toys. Well, they were new last year, this time last year. I said to myself I must get a video out before it ends up being a year, and it near enough has, unfortunately, but such is life. Talking of which, a few changes in my end. Obviously, as I said, I lost my dog back in November. My dad has been sort of have prostate cancer, prostate issues in prostate cancer. He died December the 13th. So we have literally this week just had the funeral and the burial. So there's all that to deal with as well, emotionally, and obviously sorting out the property. So yeah, good riddance 2024. Can't see much shining bright lights in 2025. But, you know, you just have to soldier on, don't you? And don't let the bastards beat you, as they say. So, yeah, last year was a bit hard on all of us, I suppose. We lost Zippy and Kevin Clements as well, which that did hurt. You know, I've known the guy, well, since I started the BrewTube thing. He was sort of one of my very, very early subscribers, along with Larry Moe. From the sort of US contingent, and obviously a lot of our YouTubing community has shrunk, or like myself, you know, you get diverted to other paths, and brewing takes a back seat, so does the community side of it. So I will endeavour to string into continuing this. It's not going to beat me. I've got too much time and money invested in all of this long term to give it up and sell I mean, I am one of the admins of Brew Bay, and there are you can tell, there's a few names crumb up. You think, oh yeah, I remember him. Oh, he's selling all his gear. Someone else that's sort of done the same probably waned away from the hobby, and the gear's sat there, and they've finally decided to sell it. Conversely, I know a couple of the guys who've sort of crept back in our chat who are getting back into the fold, considering, you know, having a little play again, and maybe, you know, investing in new equipment. So the hobby has sort of trimmed people out post China flu, when everyone was at home wanting to brew beer because they couldn't go to the pub, and people were doing brew sheds, and I done quite nicely out selling all my beer pumps around that time. Which is something I've still yet to do. There's a couple of those I was going to restore. They're still on the cards in the cupboard. It'll all fall into place, because obviously I was in the process of converting my back bedroom into my little home bar area, and now it's it looks like half a daily stock room at the minute, because it's full of big boxes of all of the railway stuff that I've been accumulating over sort of the last 5 years. Something Mr. Starmer can't tax me on yet. So yeah, we just plod on. That's all you can do, innit? I'm still sodding about with medical things. The bloke who was taking care of me in Norwich Hospital dropped off the radar. Maybe he was going back to the Lebanon to blow things up, I don't know. But anyway, I got left by the wayside until the neurology nurse, whoever she is, from Cambridge, so I'm now under Adam Brooks. And basically all of the shit I done in 2019 I'm now doing again. All the genetic testing, put the needles in your muscles and do the nerve conduction tests and stuff. I've done all that. They're still scratching their head as to why I've got myotonia, but I so far don't appear to have a inherited form of it, a genetic. So what will happen with that, I don't know. If I don't know, I tend not to try and worry about it. There's enough crap in the world without worrying about stuff you don't know about yet. Still got a list to do. Think more about that. So yeah, there's lots to do. I've got motor vehicle stuff that may come up on the channel again. I've done a sort of odd repair, DIY stuff. The shed build I will probably do on my other channel, because obviously it's purely for the railway side of things. So if you want to subscribe to Newlyn Railway, I will put a link in the description. I'm nearly 900 subscribers on that channel. I think I've passed 1200 on this one, but obviously the watch hours are in double figures on this channel, because it's usually, I think my best video is the building of the mash tun. Is still one of my best viewed videos, and then the follow-on one of doing a coil chiller and stuff, which is the one back here, which I could put two together and make a double one, or have it single for a big pot, which I still got. I've still got the big pot. I've still got two in the back room behind you, so that I could change all these pots to whatever they were, 70 litre. I can't in all honesty see me needing to brew 70 litre batches, or have pots big enough for that capacity. One keg of beer is enough really, because you get bored having it, so you want 2-3 kegs on so you can keep changing. Gas is still an absolute fucking nightmare around here to get. There is a guy that does it, but his cylinder rental terms are not cheap, although most of them aren't now. I have got a local place that's selling fire extinguishers for 10 quid a pop though. I know that's not food grade CO2. Well, I think it's all the same really. It's just obviously the conditions in which it's filled in. There was some kind of filter you could get for the lines. If anyone knows what it is or where I can get one from AliExpress or something to use inline, just to filter out any potential impurities. But they are certainly the cheapest option to me. Obviously, had I been at work, I could have probably got a bottle through work, because we did open a bar and restaurant at the beer shop. Although what's happening with that at the minute I don't know, because a few months ago they did have a fire in the kitchen during the night, so I don't know what happened with that. I haven't been in because obviously I've been preoccupied doing other things. So I must pop in and see the old crew and maybe pick up a few beverages. And when something happens here, I will put it on film. Obviously I've got the mains water and electric to do, but I can't really get on to that until the site area is cleared, once I've used the materials for the shed build. I've also got to extend the soak away for the septic system, which is in the same locale as well, so it's probably two birds with one stone. I'll have that area cleared, get a digger in, and I can get underneath the shed and bring them up through the floor and put them in one of the old sewer tubes, probably, to rat proof them. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I can continue to waffle. We obviously gained those kits, so I might have a little tinker with them at some stage. But again, it's that old adage, and it's time, dedicating time to a hobby when you either don't feel like it or not really motivated, or it's just some other shit to deal with. But we will endeavour to carry on and start again. It's all still here. It's not going to cost any more money because I've spent it already. So as long as nothing tragic happens to the building that it's in, because the conifer is a bit unwieldy, I really need to get someone in to trim the fat out of the conifer. I would do it myself, but obviously I'm not supposed to do stuff like that, and there's all the greenery to get rid of. You need to hire a shredder to chill all that away. But the firewood would be useful. So yeah, in the world of spiders and stainless steel and cobwebs and a creaky chair, I will bid you farewell until the next video. Some of them may be split between the two channels, but don't forget, if you're really bored and into railways, go and drop me a subscription on the other channel, or just subscribe anyway and help me get over that magic figure of 1,000 subscribers. Yes, and then you become a YouTube millionaire. Not. Right. See you on the next one.